Welcome back, everyone, to what I'm sure is quickly becoming your favorite segment of this 12th Alliance tournament. CCB Fozzie comes on and gives you exposition about what's happening next. We are actually going to be doing the Outbreak versus Monkeys with Guns fight. The problem managed to get fixed thanks to a miraculous intervention from a previously disappeared CCP Veritas, who is off duty this weekend, but managed to come and save the day anyways. So we are currently now just waiting for another member of Outbreak who's coming on to replace somebody who went AFK and disappeared basically after we told him that the fight was shutting down. And so that guy will be back very soon. We're going to be getting him on the field, getting this fight ready for you guys. I know that it's going to be worth the wait, though. Sir Squeebles and I have both been talking about how excited we are to see this fight. You guys can't see the setups yet, but it is two very exciting setups I think is going to make a really great match. There you go. In fact, actually, let's give you guys all the information about what is coming up in this match, because I do think it is two very exciting setups that we're going to be seeing face each other. Outbreak is bringing a setup that is a little bit more traditional, but it's still going to be a lot of DPS, I think. It's triple EOS, double Vexor Navy Issue, double Vexor, triple Maulus, and double Inquisitor for the reps. But Monkeys with Guns are the real stars of this match. They have brought a spectacular setup. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, whether it works or not. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Sir Squeeble?
This is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that in the ATXII, I almost said ATX12, that we see, we see a Blaster Rush with no Tech Tulaji, actually. So some Executor Navy issues on field, which crank out just insane DPS, paired with some Brute Souls. They're going to hit really hard if they can get onto something, and the question is, can they? I think they will. So I look forward to seeing just complete mutual destruction, really.
Indeed. We now have all of the actual pilots back in system now. We're just going to have them warp back in at the correct ranges, and then we'll be able to get the fights going again. Again, very sorry about the delays. We are going to be bringing you the last three matches. Our final three matches today are this one, Outbreak versus Monkey with Guns, and then the incredibly anticipated Hydra Reloaded versus Triumvirate. I've seen what setups they've got too, and I'm not going to give you any hints because they don't know what the setups are, but it looks pretty awesome. And finally, No Holes Barred versus Revolution to round out the day. Honestly, I think these are going to be three of the most exciting matches, especially because I've seen what's coming up in Outbreak versus Monkeys, and you guys know that incredible blaster setup that's going to be brought by Monkeys with Guns. Who do you think is going to be taking the next three matches? What are your predictions, Sir Squeebles?
Oh, on the whole three? I got to guess all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I don't know. This is tough. And I'm just going to confirm some bias here, and that the guys with Monkey with Guns I know are a lot of fun. They come across the stream every now and then, but then I've also, in years past, flown with a couple of the guys on the Outbreak team. Also some really, really strong PvPers, so I'm going to have to go with Outbreak, though. We mentioned it when we were off the air that I'm kind of secretly rooting for them. I'd really like to see them put forward a strong performance. The Hydra Reloaded tri-match I'm not even going to comment on. I'm just going to stay safely away from that. And then I'm cheering for No Holes Barred versus Revolution. I'm definitely going for No-Ho on that one.
Yeah, okay. For me, I definitely circled Outbreak at the beginning of the day for this match. I have to say, though, my heart is with this Monkey with Gun setup. Whenever you bring that much blaster damage, it always excites me, and it's great to see it, and I really want them to win. For Hydra Reloaded versus Tri, it's really hard to bet against Hydra. They are an incredibly talented team that works incredibly hard. Triumvirate, I think, is going to be a pretty solid team in this tournament as well, though, so it'll be very fun to watch this kind of matchup between two big tournament expected heavyweights, though I think Hydra's probably going to take it. And yeah, I agree with you that No Holds Barred has been, for me, I think a little bit more impressive in their previous tournament outings than Revolution, but that one could also go either way. So both teams have now arrived on the field. I think we're just going to get our cameras ready to go and then be switching to the fight pretty quickly. Hello and welcome back. Again, big apologies for the slight delay we had there, but we are now ready to go for this incredibly exciting match between Outbreak and Monkeys with Guns. This is CCP Fozzie, once again joined by Sir Squeebles, and we have two really great setups. We mentioned it just before over the GTCam, but we're going to go through the setups again. Outbreak has brought a triple EOS, double Vexor Navy issue, double Vexor, triple Mollusk, double Inquisitor setup.
And on the other side, we have a completely reckless but very proud Galenti team fielding 2 Brutix Navy issues and a Stardate and 3 Exec Navy issues, along with a healthy frigate wing of course, all Galenti, 3 Catalysts, 2 Fed Navy Comets, and an Atron.
Yeah, and right before the match, or a little while before the match began, Sir Squeebles, you noticed the naming of all of these Monkeys with Guns ships.
I did. They are all named exactly the same thing, and that is Galenti Pride, and that shows team cohesion. So I've got to give the edge to them. They're showing coordination, and they're going right into the middle as expected. They have no projection, but good lord, did they have DPS. And unfortunately, the Exec Navy issue of BAJ is taking damage first, but this Vexor Navy issue of Sarah is also taking damage. So good trades on both sides. Let's see whose tank holds up.
Outbreak has a big swarm of geckos coming from these EOSs, and they're going to take a while to get on targets, but once they reach the targets, they're going to do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, that Vexor Navy issue is webbed now, so he's going to be taking more and more damage from the blasters.
Not only is he taking more damage, he's taking all the damage as he gets absolutely erased. A Vexor just disappeared. I didn't see any damage applied to him. Boundary? Or
We've had some boundary violations. A couple of guys have been using the micro jump units and jumping out of the arena. We have boundary violations all over the place, apparently.
Remember, viewers, stay in school and don't use micro jump drives. Oh my goodness, this Galenti team is just getting melted. But Sarah's still holding on. Unfortunately, it's not enough. We'll remember you, Sarah, fondly. And Bosknard now seems to be the damage primary. Good gosh, that Exec Navy issue is gone. Once
that swarm of geckos catches up to you, you go down very fast. It's worth noting that the Catalyst and the Atrons that died weren't actually boundary violations. It looks like the Vexor of Scorps. The rest of them just got vaporized under all the damage. That's a lot of the ships already off the field for Monkeys with the Guns. Definitely not the start they were hoping for strategically, as they take down an Inquisitor, though. That's a important kill to help take the reps off the field.
This is not going well, though. As you said, one of the last 2 remaining DPS holes for the Galenti team is now in deep structure, and he is gone. Poor Monkeys with Guns. The Astarte and the Brutix Navy issue have a lot of ground to make up, and realistically can't really expect them to recover that, especially with shield tanks. They went with full DPS, which is the only way to do it. If you're going to do a Galanti rush proper, I definitely agree. But Mirana is not going to be able to tank long. Take care, old friend.
Yeah, they've got another Vexor down, but it is only, I think, a matter of time. Mirana is now going through the last of his armor into structure, and he'll be dropping off the field, which will very quickly, as the Catalyst of Duke Sovereign also goes down, leave the Astarte of Zaratha there, the last man standing for Monkeys with Guns.
There might not be many ships on grid for Monkeys with Guns, but there are definitely still mobile micro jump units. So this presents an opportunity, as we've discussed. These EOSs might panic and jump, in which case we could definitely see an upset. But right now it looks pretty grim as this this Astarte is low on shield and into armor. Oh no, this is not going to be good.
He's dropping through quite quickly. There's only one more ship on the field for Monkeys with Guns. It's a Federation Navy Comet belonging to Elijah Ghost, and I think it's just a matter of time before he goes down. He is currently dueling with a Maulus of Outbreak.
And if everyone turns their volume up right now and listens very closely, you can hear a moment of silence in all of Galanti space out of respect for this Monkeys with Guns team. They came in, they represented, they tried so hard. A lot of DPS, but so much death. Many a good man lost today.
And that is the end of that match. Monkeys with Guns bringing a very exciting but ultimately unsuccessful setup, and Outbreak will continue on through the winners bracket. We are going to send you off to some ads, and then as quickly as possible set up the next match, which is Hydra Reloaded versus Triumvirate, for real this time.
We're day 4. That means that pretty much only the good teams and Test Alliance are left.
Test Alliance, please ignore. Worst of the best. Delicious spaghetti you eat while waiting for a prey to put its shiny paw into his career. So always let jump and let the bodies hit the floor, and that is how the glue bum.
You want to stay up to date on the market? You spend most of your time blowing stuff up, but you want to know why clicks are so damn high? Then watch EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. EVE Talk with me, the Lone Wolf, every Saturday, only on YouTube.
Waves Alliance.
Do you like waffles?
I like waffles.
I like waffles.
Do you like waffles?
Yes, I like waffles.
And pancakes and French toast.
Welcome back, everyone, to what is probably the most anticipated match of today. This is Hydra Reloaded versus Triumvirate. I'm CCB Fozzie, joined once again by Sir Squeebles, and this is day 2 of the 12th Alliance tournament. On Hydra's side, you see there on your screen definitely my favorite tournament ship of all time. This is a ship that's near and dear to my heart, the Sleipnir, and Hydra Reloaded has decided to bring a Sleipnir rush that I'm sure they know how to fly very, very well. It's triple Sleipnir, Scimitar, Kitsune, double Celestis, double Mollusk, triple Heretic, tons of dams, and then the Sleipnir core to deal all their damage. And Triumvirate's brought something a little bit more standard. Why don't you tell us a bit about that, Sir Squeebles?
Yeah, I'm not sure how well they can pilot it, but I am very impressed by their setup with 3 Vexor Navy issues, 3 normal Vexors, an EOS and an Oniros for the DPS and the Logi, and then you've got 1 Mollusk, 1 Carries, a Malediction, and an Ishkur. And I am a huge fan, as much as you like Sleipnirs actually this year. I really enjoy the Vexor Navy issue, so definitely a lot of potential with this hull, and I look forward to seeing it because really it's a nice set of ships to bring into something like a Slep Rush.
Yeah, I think it is actually a pretty good matchup for Tri to get. Tri has brought a setup that fits much more easily into the meta of the tournament so far. Mollusk already off the field for Tri.
My goodness.
Carries down as well. Incredibly fast these first couple kills.
That is definitely the Heretics coming through with just insane alpha against the frigates, and I think we've talked these up, myself and other commentators, but man, these Heretics are terrifying. If you're sitting in a frigate and there are Heretics that are parked on the other side of the beacon here, you've got to be nervous because it doesn't matter really what you're flying. With 3 Heretics, you're going to go quick.
Well, what's been killing those frigates is actually the Sleipnirs, which are fitting artillery. These are already Sleipnirs at long range to alpha through any reps on frigates, and they're doing a great job at that task, as they're already eating quickly through this Vexor Navy issue as well. Poor God.
I was wondering actually how the volleys reached across the field that quick, so now the question becomes, can you still technically call it a rush if they're artillery fit?
Yes, I think this is definitely, we wouldn't generally call it a rush in this case. The Sleipnirs, instead it's definitely more of a damp control setup. You keep your range, you damp out the opponents, and you're seeing almost no damage coming across the field to Hydra Reloaded. They're playing this essentially perfectly. The damp icons all the way across the Triumvirate side means that they're having a very hard time choosing where their drones go.
Yeah, this is amazing. Like the artillery Sleipnir definitely has potential, but it's also very risky. They've paired it with those Celestis, which are piloting absolutely amazingly, and they're applying their damps on the DPS hulls. The funny thing about their control setup is that hypothetically, if piloted well, it should be countered by drones. As we talked about before, you have the assist mechanic, and you only have to activate your drones once, and they'll stick to that target. Even so, they're still mitigating all of the damage, not just some of the damage. They're mitigating all of the damage from this drone setup with 2 Celestis. Nothing short of sort of Hydra level PvP here. Super impressive, not really a huge shock, but it's still a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
This is probably a setup that would have been a bit more risky last year when the drone meta was more heavily focused on sentry drones. They can reach across the field and track these Sleipnirs really well, and they can easily be assigned back and forth. But like most of the drone setups this year, Triumvirate has been relying on heavy drones instead. And of course, the Vexor Navy issues don't have the ability to field 2 waves of drones. They can't bring sentries and heavy drones. They have to bring one or the other. That means that Hydra is able to burn around the field and waste a lot of time while the drones chase down their Sleipnirs.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at the stream now. Yeah, so Hydra banned the Vargar and the Golem.
Mm-hmm.
And at first glance, you'd think like maybe a Tinker wouldn't be ideal. And definitely for the alpha that they're looking to output, that makes sense. But any other reasons they would want to avoid a Golem and a Vargar specifically with this setup?
I mean, even outside of a Tinker, any Marauder is going to be dangerous because the Marauder is completely invulnerable to the damps. So their game plan is all about keeping range of the Sleipnirs, which are going to be faster than most of their opponents, and then damping out all of the DPS and especially logistics, things like that. But the fact that Marauder is completely immune to the damps means they'd be able to reach out across the field and use their extra DPS over an already Sleipnir to cause a pretty big problem. They'd be able to take down that Scimitar probably pretty quickly.
I would almost argue, though, that baiting another team into investing that many points in a Golem, I mean, realistically, or a Vargar for that matter, but realistically, either if they kited this effectively and they damped out the non-E-War immune ships on field, which is presumably everything else, it seems like maybe they could talk people into investing too many points in a Marauder that is the only thing that can apply DPS. Clearly they know what they're doing, but since we have nothing to discuss except for the dunkage happening on field right now, and this last EOS, he's low, and here we go. Hold on.
Yeah,
waiting.
The last volleys of missiles come in from those heretics.
And boom goes
there
the
he
dynamite.
goes. So a very, very quick dismantling of Triumvirate from Hydra Reloaded. Try bringing what is a very solid setup, and they seem to be piloting it just fine, but Hydra demonstrating that they are a step ahead of most of these other tournament teams. This is a very, very convincing performance from them. And that, we're going to send you back to the studio for some ads and then be back for our final match of the day, No Holds Barred versus Revolution.
In Eve, the only thing worth more than ISK is trust. This October 4th in Amsterdam, Eve, Israel.
September 13th, the Eve Online Gaming Event. Hashtag Eve_NT. Be there or be a douchebag.